Good morning, wrestling fans. I know you're up right now watching Crown Jewel. I am as well while doing the show. We are a few matches into the card, and I will update that in a little bit. But I am your humble host. Welcome to the show for Saturday, October 11th. Holidays today, International Day of Girl Child Day. It's my party day, National Motorcycle Ride Day. I might explain how that Cena AJ Styles match ended there, and Tender Loving Care Day. Birthdays today. There's a bunch of them. I'm not going to tell you how old they are, but Dusty Rhodes would have celebrated birthday today. Taz is, Tony Chimmel, Ricochet, Rhea Ripley, which you may have heard a few times today. Today is her birthday, and Riddick Moss. They're all celebrating birthdays today. Hey, interested in roller derby? Want to be a skater, officiate? Rock City Roller Derby needs you. Contact recruitment at rockderbyrecruitment@gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby. For the men's team, Flower City Fear, FLOUR, flowercityfear.com. We're always looking for help and skaters and everything. And, this weekend, MRDA, Men's Roller Derby Association championships are going on right now in Salem, Oregon. And there's a little FOMO going on for me because I really wished I could be there. Financially, I'm not in this situation. So, but it'd be nice to be in Salem, Oregon, calling these games. I get to watch them at least on YouTube, so you can watch them on the MRDA YouTube channel. I'm your humble host, the Cash Man. I am joined by from NC, it's DC, Dan Cole, joining us. DC, how's it going?
Too bad. Cash yourself.
I'm I'm going good. I mean, it's really weird that we're in the middle of a PLE right now.
Are we? Is there anything going on?
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you if if you missed if there's anything you should watch, go back and watch the Cena AJ Styles match. They borrow 15, 20 moves from other wrestlers during it, moving, and it's great. Just the flow from one, they'll do some of their stuff and then, I mean, they did Christopher Daniels Angel's Wings. Okay. They did, it is, I mean, I would expect, I mean, the Miz I could understand and some of these other guys, but you're doing people from outside, they're, Randy Orton, two of his moves were used in it. There was it was just a lot of fun. It was a real tribute to the world of pro wrestling. They definitely had the crowd in the palm of their hand during the match, and it was fun. I mean, it was really a fun match for those two guys. So it was a hey, good morning, guys. Hopefully you're watching. This guys are in the chat room watching the Crown Jewel. If not, you're watching us, and I'll just tell you what happened anyway. So, but yeah, no, it's a. Right now we got two matches left right now. I think next up is Rhea Ripley. It's her birthday today, by the way. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus I can't remember who they're taking on. Oh yeah, they're taking on Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then you've got you have Cody Rhodes taking on the WWE champion, whatever the Monday Night Raw champion is, for the
Who
crowd.
goes heavyweight champions?
Yeah, for that giant Seth Rollins for the giant belt that is bigger than both of those guys. I mean, it's more of like a armor, because it's like so gigantic. I'll give them a lot of credit. They get Stephanie Vaquer won against Tiffany Stratton, and I think it was real nice. Everyone kind of expected something else out of that results, but that was pretty good. That's definitely a good match too, and I was really surprised. I mean, obviously Stephanie Vaquer is like on a rocket ship to the top. I mean, beating Tiffany Stratton, who in the past years beaten everybody. So yeah, that was cool. Roman Reigns losing earlier today, second time only in like the last like 3 or 4 years, being pinned by somebody. By
He's a part-timer now. He shouldn't be
Yeah.
taking wins. He should be putting people over.
Yeah, well, that's the question I always wonder. It's like when you get to a certain point in your career after you've had a 3-year undefeated streak, do you have to put people over now? Are you always having to make new stars? That's what it seems like WWE is always trying to make new stars. And it's like sometimes they don't spend a lot of time on the stars they have made already. It's like I mean, that's Roman Reigns, 3 years undefeated. There you go. But I don't think he's out of his prime yet. I mean, I don't, I'm not saying he shouldn't have put over Bronson Reed. but I'm, maybe, but Bronson Reed obviously being home in Australia, I think that may have something to do with it. But it was also like a no rules match or whatever. And so they were busting out rugby balls and freaking all the Australian rules sporting equipment and stuff. They had like a giant cricket stick or something in the ring at one point. So
Anybody get clubbed with a didgeridoo?
yeah, yeah, I was waiting for that to happen. So
Boomerangs?
yeah. That would be great. Whip it up in the crowd and see if it comes back and lands in the ring. You
Did anybody break out MJF's kangaroo kick?
No, I did not see. You know what? They suddenly turned into a smodge when Braun Breaker showed up and started interfering, and then the Usos came down, and it just became, and the Usos, Roman Reigns kind of blamed the Usos for him losing. So it was, yeah, I don't, it was okay. It was what kicked off the whole show. So it was not too bad. There's not that many matches, but this is like a giant commercial for vacationing in Australia, because that's all the pre-show was, with people going around and visiting like bakeries and like, look at the hills you can climb and all these things. I mean, it really does make it look quite attractive, but it is on the other side of the planet right now. It's 10 o'clock, or it's 12 hours difference, I think, from we are right now. So I believe it'd be 10 o'clock at night there. Or maybe it's 11. I don't know, something like that, but it's funny is, to bring that up as well. Yesterday, SmackDown was done by, I don't know, 9 or 10 in the morning. And I just kept seeing images on social media of what showed up on SmackDown last night. Like, and I saw that the people that, Solo Sequoia and his group now all have like face paint. They're all like coming out. I don't know if you've seen any of those pictures, DC, like the
Well,
comic.
the two, I was gonna say, the two guys that were in Gorillas of Destiny, they did do the face paint, so they're just doing a callback to that, really.
Yeah, yeah, but and Tama Tonga now, but they all were doing it except for obviously Solo Sequoia. But thought it was an interesting, because they had a really good match last night. I mean, it was weird because it was taped so far in advance. Everybody knew how it was going to go, but I hate to admit it, but I fell asleep in the middle of watching it. And usually I watch back SmackDown when I'm like doing prep for the show, but the pay-per-view started, so
At least you watched it.
yeah, I tried to. I mean, if it really kept my interest, I would have been awake. But they started with like a 15-minute Cody promo to start the whole show. So I know he's the number one guy in the company. I understand that. He's got to come out, and he's got, they feel that he's the draw when people are watching. But SmackDown has not been doing great in the ratings. Okay, they have not been. I think there's been rumblings of WWE maybe revamping their creative, because now, like we saw a week ago, there was empty seats at Raw, and it's like there was a lot of empty seats at Raw, and it's a combination of the high prices and a lot of people. I mean, it's really not super great creative time. The best thing going right now is the John Cena retirement tour, and he can't be there every week, and he's got 4 dates left. It's funny how they keep changing how many dates he's got left, but it started off with 2 going in today, but then Michael Cole said after today there's 4 left, so he's got 4 dates left. But if they're as good as what he did today, then it's going to be gold, because that match with him and AJ Styles, when he first did the Miz's move, it's like, oh, he's going to start, they're going to start mimicking other people's moves. And then they just went one by one, trying to, John Cena tried to do Triple H's finish, and then that didn't happen. Seth Rollins did trying to do the stomp with Seth Rollins. It was really interesting. It's fun if you're a fan of wrestling. And Michael Cole got up and actually gave a standing ovation after the match was done, and they were leading into the promos for the next match. He's like, I got to do this. I got to get up, and he stands up and claps, because it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'll give you a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of build up to that. So what can you do with a match like that? And it's like both these guys have talked about leaving in the next year. So, especially this past week with AJ confirming it in interviews. So, but that's that. And there's still more to go. But that's one of the things we want to talk about. I guess we kind of got it out of the way pretty early. I also want to talk about this past week's Tuesday's Dynamite. Special day for Dynamite last week, which was pretty cool. We had the Invasion / show. What do they call it? whatever TNA did coming into NXT last week, where they had like this, they did
Not
like
Invasion anymore.
not Invasion. They did the Survivor Series style matches against each other, which was actually pretty interesting. Bound for Glory is tonight. That is the WrestleMania of TNA. And we'll go through that a little bit. And then we had some NXT cuts last night. Some people that it's funny. They make these cuts sometimes when they go away, so nobody can be called on the mat for it. If they happen to be, in the same town when it happens. But when all the managerial people go to Perth, Australia, it's a good time to cut people. So, and I'll actually go through that right now while we're at. There was a cuts yesterday in TNA, or I'm sorry, in NXT. I'll give you a list of names. None really stand out for me except for two. Wes Lee, he was cut, and Wes Lee, a guy that got cut multiple times from NXT or from WWE as well, and came back as well. Lance Anoa'i, whatever, the newest Samoan that was signed to WWE, never really got a chance to do anything with him. A guy named Steve Turner, Zara Zacher, Draco Knox, Jamar Hampton. Now this guy, BJ Ray, if you've ever watched LFG, he's a guy who kept getting into it with Bubba Ray during the show, because he always would kind of like Bubba. He think Bubba Ray was like thought Bubba Ray thought he was the greatest thing in the world of pro wrestling when he wrestled, and this guy is like, nah, he never really kind of bought into it. And so they used to have butt heads all the time.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not. And Bubba would take it so personal too. He would. Got Jintala.
The insecure ones always do, Cash.
Big time. Jintala, Summer. Well, he's wrestling tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. Summer Sorrell and Hayes Jameson, all have been cut from NXT. None really were. Wes Lee is the biggest name there. He obviously coming from the Rascals. TNA is still a place for him to go, but the Rascals contract's running out in TNA too. So I don't know I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't find a use for him. I know Wes got hurt at one time and we had to wait it out, but I think that he was a guy who they were pushing for a title there in NXT, and now he's out, unfortunately, out of a job. So hopefully Wes Lee finds something. Maybe he'll reunite with his friends. But that's to be seen. But they did have the big NXT TNA showdown this past week. And it was interesting. I watched a little bit of it. I have not seen fully the whole thing, just because it was a Survivor Series style match. And there were some people who I know were NXT talents were on the TNA side. So it's kind of confusing, because they have like people that, like Kalani Jordan, I think her name is. She won a title in TNA. She won the women's title. So she was on the TNA. Sorry, my dog made noise. She was on the TNA side, and in the whole Survivor Series style match. I will say, or it was like an elimination style. If we get eliminated, you're off the team or whatever. But it's nice, Tara. But interesting enough, the Hardy Boys won the NXT tag titles on this show, which is very interesting, because they're wrestling the Dudleys tonight on the Bound for Glory. So it's like, first of all, I didn't think that Devon could wrestle anymore. I don't know. What do you think about that, DC? It's like two groups of people who aren't even involved with WWE, and they're wrestling for the NXT titles now, and they are wrestling for the titles. So that's what they said. All titles are on. So apparently they have the TNA titles too, I believe, the Hardy Boys. So
this match is several years too late.
Yeah, like 20, something like.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you said. Like I thought Devon was done. I mean, we've seen the Hardys have definitely lost a step or two.
Yeah.
I don't care for Bubba at all, so I really don't care about him. But yeah, this is one of those matches that it passed its expiration date.
Yeah, I mean, Devon had a stroke, didn't he, a couple of years ago?
I thought so.
Yeah. So that while we're talking about it, I might as well give it a rundown so you guys have an idea. Because if you are, I know if you're a wrestling fan, and we all are, because we wouldn't be here if we weren't, that there's a chance you're going to get Bound for Glory tonight because it is the WrestleMania of TNA. But listen to how many of these people on these matches have WWE people on them. Okay, it's very interesting. So I'll go through the pre-show and then into the regular show and talk about what's going on. But on the pre-show, they're going to have the Hall of Fame inductions of Mickie James, who's going to be inducted by Tara, or you might remember her as Victoria in WWE. Not a lot of people are happy with her because some of the stuff she's been posting on social media. The Beautiful People, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky are going to be inducted by Tommy Dreamer. And they did well, deserve it, as well as Mickie James deserves it. So, well, this is a great Hall of Fame class for TNA. I know AJ Styles will be in there someday. They really wanted him last year when WWE started working with him, and he kind of turned it down. He said he wants to not be an active wrestler when he gets inducted. And so, very interesting. My Disney just kicked me out of the WWE pay-per-view. AJ Styles wants to be a non-active wrestler when he goes in, so maybe you'll be able to get him in the Hall of Fame next year at this time. But that's going to be going on, as well as on the pre-show, they're going to have a 20-person call your shot gauntlet match for Money in the Bank style contract for a shot at any championship over the next year. And there's only 2 people mentioned so far. Li Ying Lee as well as Mace Warner are so far in this tournament. There's going to be 20 people, so it'll be everybody from the locker room, maybe a few surprises, maybe a WWE surprise in there. And this is still, this is the first match of the pay-per-view. So the pre-show is only there's another pre-show match. Sorry. The Inspiration, that's Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay are taking on Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance for the knockout titles. So that is, we knew that the Ash by Elegance had to step down due to an injury or something. I'm not sure exactly why Ashley stepped down, but she did.
Pretty sudden.
Yeah, it was. And so they had to find a partner, and they're taking on Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, or Jessie McKay, and for the TNA Knockouts Championship. So that's going to be on the pre-show as well. Then we got the first show, I don't know the exact order, but I'll go down the order I've written. The 20-person call your shot. Then we got the System, which is Moose, Alicia Edwards, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards, and JDC, that is Dango or whatever you want to call him, versus the Order 4, Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steelz, Jason Hotch, John Sykes, and Agent Zero in a hardcore war. And by the way, my son is at the New York City Comic Con he was there yesterday. He's there all weekend, and he walked by Matt Cardona, and he went, woo, woo, woo. And Cardona turned around and said, you know it. And he texted me that. So it's like Cardona's always in character. I love the guy, but he's not on the card here, which he was doing a lot of work with TNA, and now I see he's not on this card at all. Yeah. So we've got the System, like I said, versus the Order 4 in a hardcore war match. We've got Gia Miller versus Tessa Blanchard. Nobody else will wrestle Tessa Blanchard, so I guess Gia Miller is going to. Frankie Kazarian versus Steve Macklin for the TNA International Championship. Kalani Jordan versus Indy Hartwell for the Knockouts Championship. Leon Slater versus Javon Evans, another WWE guy. So we have Kalani Jordan, Javon Edwards so far. This is on the main card for the X division. Matt and Jeff Hardy versus Team 3D in a tables match for the TNA tag titles and the NXT tag team titles. I don't know where this is going. I'm surprised WWE would allow the Hardys to hold the NXT. It's probably the only tag title they've never touched, and it's only been made up since NXT's been around. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see. Obviously, Bully Ray's going to do most of the work. He's still in wrestling shape and everything, obviously being a trainer and things like that. So, and then we got Trick Williams versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. And I think that's about now we finally get the crowning of Mike Santana, I'm guessing.
You would think.
I hope so. Mike Santana's deserved it since he was in AEW. So I think, it sounds like a solid card. If you want to stay home and watch wrestling tonight, you can probably find it on all the streaming services. I think TNA does have a what's it called? They're like a fan service. TN. It's I can't remember the name of
I
it.
don't know what theirs is.
Yeah, but
I know, like I know ROH's Honor Club. Uh, let's see, TNA.
it's I can't remember, but I know that's where you can see like a lot of AJ Styles old matches because they have a lot of stuff up on there.
Oh, well, that's TNA Plus.
TNA Plus, there you go. TNA Plus, and as well, I'm sure you can probably get it on every other place that does the streaming for pay-per-views and stuff like that. But that is one thing that's going on tonight. Right now, we're right in the middle of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, who, like I said earlier, it's her birthday, versus the Asuka and Kairi Sane, and it's been pretty entertaining so far. It's not nearly as fun as that last match, so that's for sure, with all the goofy stuff going on. But yeah, so TNA tonight. I mean, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Bully Ray either. In fact, I remember we had him on the show a couple times, and my biggest fear was we had him on once, and he would not drop kayfabe stuff, and he always was like questioning our questions. So it just felt like it's like I don't know if I ever want to have this guy on the show again if he's question. And now he's hosting. He hosts a serious show. And it's like this is a guy who made it difficult for us. When we were doing what he's
I have
doing.
a feeling he makes it difficult for everybody that's around him.
Yeah. I think so. I think he plays politics too. I mean, I always felt like he was a guy who was like that, But yeah, no, the second time we had him on, he was real, but not the first time. But remember, he used to date what's her name? Not Velvet Sky. Oh, Velvet Sky. Yeah, no. Yeah, he dated her for many years, and it was like so they're all going to be together, hanging out there together. I wonder they still have like a good relationship or whatnot, but I know they're not together anymore. But yeah, so that's tonight if you want to watch TNA, and I'm sure NXT will have something to do with it, except for all the people that got fired this week, yesterday. They probably won't have, unless Wes Lee comes in and does something with his boys, the Rascals. But I also saw, like I said, I saw that they're on like the last month of their contract too. So who knows where that's going, but, so let's talk a little bit now. Let's move on a little bit to Tuesday Dynamite. Not the regular Tuesday night you would be watching Dynamite. So a lot of people may, and we tried to give you a heads up last week that it was going to be on Tuesday, and it went long too. It was an extra half
hour. It was
hour.
like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a great show. It was fun. It was down obviously in dailies. So the fans were in the palm of their hand the whole night, because those fans are insanely crazy for TNA. And also it's like right in the back. It's in the back parking lot of Jacksonville's stadium for football. So you might remember they had one of those crazy stadium matches in
Stadium
there.
Stampede.
Yeah. So what did you think about this past Tuesday? Did anything stick out to you on the show? I mean, we got Darby Allin with a taser. There was a lot of. It was a fun show. It's like obviously changing direction with some people because, I'm like loving Hangman Adam Page every week now, and I thought he did a great job this past week. What did you think, DC?
No, I thought it was another good show. Definitely has some work to do to build up Wrestle Dream. But the card is shaping up actually very good for that, in my opinion.
We're talking like 2 weeks from today, I believe.
So what we have Samoa Joe, Hangman, we have Tony Storm, Chris Statlander. We're going to have Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
I would assume based on their win, we're going to get Okada and Takeshita against Brodito. I mean, and that's just, I want to say there's 2 other matches. I can't think of what they're doing right now.
Jurassic Express is going to be taking on the Young Bucks.
For $500,000.
Yeah, something like that. Darby Allin and Moxley. And yeah,
their I Quit match.
Yeah, it's I Quit match. Yeah.
That I'm legitimately worried for both guys.
Well, I'm always scared
because what more can they do? What more can they do?
Yeah, I mean
that they haven't already done.
That's a good question because I have a hard time. Listen, Darby Allin is like, remember when Ric Flair called Mick Foley a stunt man? I get that's what I feel about Darby Allin at times, man. He's like he's I don't know. See, like I think his what they call it, the coffin drop on the back. That always he's lighter than most of those guys, so they don't. It's really they can catch him sort of when it's going on, but he does some crazy stuff, man. He is absolutely, you know, I there's a couple things going on. I'd like I think I'm tired of seeing. I hate to say it, but I'm tired of seeing thumbtacks in the ring. It's because I can only win so many times when I like when who is it Statlander who was running on top of them in her bare feet.
Well, I know that Marina Shafir did the
Oh, it was
feet
Marina
first
Shafir.
spot. Yeah.
That's what it was. Marina Shafir with the with the bare feet running on. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I mean, yeah, Roll Wrestle Dream is you're right. That's actually a pretty solid card. So, we gotta not we're not gonna criticize the cards if we're not happy with them because then Tony Schiavone gets it all bent out of shape, goes on his podcast and says, "You guys have no idea what you're talking."
Everybody gets bent out of shape nowadays.
I know, but he's like, it's funny because Rob, there was couple weeks ago, it was just Rob and I, and we went through that whole card, and Rob's like, I'm just not excited about any of this. And I go, then next thing you know, Tony Schiavone, a day later is like, people are criticizing this card. It's like, and he didn't criticize it. He just said he wasn't super excited. He said that he knew it would be a good show and that there'd be things in it that would get him excited. But he just said on paper, it didn't look that
Yeah.
great. So, this one looks better on paper.
But that's the good thing about a wrestling show. It gives you the chance to it gives the opportunity to surprise you.
Yeah, it's like the John
You
Cena.
may not be impressed, on paper, but once the action unfolds in the ring, could be a totally different story.
Yeah, like I say, like the John Cena AJ Styles, they didn't build it up with promos and stuff. They just said, "Hey, we're doing it," and then they came out and they wrestled that crazy let's use everyone else's finishes match. And by the way, it did end with a tombstone. John Cena tombstoned AJ Styles and pinned him. So they were using everybody's moves, and then that made it even more enjoyable than just a regular match. It was probably I think it was John's best match I've seen since he's been back. So that's for sure because he was doing things he doesn't do, which is you have to be comfortable in that ring to climb up on the ropes, even though you're not used to doing stuff like that, and he did. So, but yeah, I think well, Wrestle Dream is kind of pounding out. It'll probably be set in stone by this weekend. Or I mean, after next week's show. I don't know. They still got a couple. I mean, it's interesting that with all the injuries that have taken place, that there's so many main eventers still not back that are involved in this pay-per-view. I mean, no Kenny Omega, no Swerve Strickland. There's and then we did have an injury this past week. You'll see it on. You won't. I don't know what they'll do on tonight's Collision. There was an injury that happened during Collision. We'll talk about when we go through the news and stuff. But yeah, they're
that guy is so cursed with injuries.
Yeah, I know it's and it's a shame too because it's like things happen. People WWE had a series of that at one point. I think in the early this year where they had too many people getting injured. Seth Rollins couldn't wrestle before WrestleMania and stuff like that. There was a whole bunch of things going on. So it happens. It's a business. This is what they do. So you never know how you can't beat gravity. That's what they always say. It's the only thing that you cannot beat. So that and John Cena. No, it used to be John Cena and Gravity, but now it's just Gravity. So I think that but this past Tuesday I thought it was a great show. It was head to head with that Invasion show, unfortunately, or that Showdown or whatever they call it. And the Showdown show had been promoting it for so long to be like a special show that I think that's probably why they outdrew a Tuesday night Dynamite show. We're back to regular nights starting coming up this week. So which is good, but I thought it was fun because like, all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's nothing on Wednesday night, and it's like I usually watch TNA Impact on Thursday night. So, and it's like, so there was like a big gap, but I had to suffer through like the Yankees losing. So that happened as well too. But yeah, neither here nor there. So let me see what else we want to talk about. went through the cuts with the crown jewels going on right now. We had the invasion happened as well. We had Tuesday's Dynamite. Last night's SmackDown, like I said in the beginning of the show, was kind of like convoluted because it was all taped in 12 hours earlier, and there's images coming out all day yesterday of things that were happening on that show, especially the face makeup, and I'm guessing we may see that again before the end of this pay-per-view that's going on right now, or PLE or whatever it may be. The giant commercial for Perth, Australia to come as vacation home, because I swear to God, every other between every match they have a video telling you about the cool things you can do when you come there. So that's how they're using they're using all the money to come there to do it, is they have to make these commercials to say come vacation here too as well. I'm going to jump into some news and then we'll discuss some of the news as we're going through it. Right off the top of my news is all the people that were cut. We were talking. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but Santos Escobar's contract was coming up to a conclusion. And there was talk of him joining AEW. There was apparently some legitimate talks with him because he had not agreed to a new contract with the WWE, but that all changed this past week when he agreed to a deal with WWE. His problem was he had a great start being on SmackDown, leading his group and everything, and then he kind of got pushed aside for other things and other storylines. Unfortunately, he hadn't wrestled a match, I think, since July. And so they were going to, he was about to not sign. They offered him a contract. He decided at the last minute to sign it. So he's staying with WWE. And that means, hopefully there's promises about booking him better, because that was the worst. I think the money wasn't a problem. Oh, and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley just got the win, by the way. So if you're following along, it was very interesting because Rhea accidentally hit Io at one point in this match towards the end, but she did the pump handle slam, and then Io Sky jumped off the corner and got the pin. There, I'm spoiling it for people who haven't watched it yet, or people who don't want to pay $30 a month for ESPN Plus or whatever it is. So we moved into some other news. AEW Dynamite will be down one of its 3 broadcast team members. Taz was on social media and he announced that he'll be taking some time off to have total shoulder replacement surgery. He did not state when the surgery will take place, nor the target date is or for his return. But we just lost Taz for 6 months when he had the knee replacement, and now he's having shoulder replacement. He must have health insurance or something for the first time in his life. So he's like
getting it all done.
Let's get it fixed. I don't think he's going to wrestle. He just today's his birthday. He turned 57 today. So happy birthday, Taz. I mentioned the AJ Styles Cena match, and AJ when he was making the rounds this past week, he reaffirmed that this is his last year wrestling with WWE. So he was certain that, and they played that up big time. On the play on they're saying both these guys, it could be AJ's last stop in Australia, but it's definitely John Cena's. So AJ, one of our favorites. It's interesting is when they introduced him, they mentioned TNA. They mentioned the Bullet Club, multiple things that usually WWE doesn't get anywhere near. I don't know if I'm seeing it now, but there's the these promo videos for this Perth thing going on where they show these guys shipping the belt from Riyadh to Perth, and they have these guys with white gloves on, and they're wearing tuxedos, and they're carrying, and they look like damn coffins, man. They look like they're moving coffins. It's I don't know how, if you're not listening to it and you look up, it looks like these guys are carrying coffins onto a plane and then taking them off a plane and moving them. In reality, it's those giant belt containers. But I don't know if people realize that people might misconstrue what that, because especially when you see them carrying coffins out of a place in Riyadh, it's
yeah, that's
yeah.
There, Cash. I'm not saying there is, but if it's big enough, they could sneak something out.
Yeah, I think you are correct.
The way they do things.
Yeah, they've done it before, probably in smaller carrying containers, but so sorry, they're just showing the promo again with them carrying these belts out, and I like to think of this looks like coffins. But okay, so if you're gonna watch Collision tonight, you're gonna see Josh Alexander versus Kota Ibushi, and Ibushi apparently breaks his leg during the match, slips off the top rope, breaks his leg, and the match gets canceled. So I don't know if that's actually what they're gonna do. But they had like a confrontation set for after the match was over with Josh Alexander and another Mark Davis. So I know that they still did that, even though the medics were working on Ibushi on the side. They still did the part where Mark Davis came out and cut. So I don't know how they're going to do it tonight, how it's going to get edited, but they actually called the match off at that point when he slipped off the top rope, and they said he landed right on his leg and it just snapped or whatever. But they've never come out and officially made a comment on what happened yet. I don't think. I looked for it, but I couldn't find any official word from them. But that's what I hear is he broke his leg. So we'll have to watch that tonight and see how they edit that out or edit around that. But that's one of the matches tonight. We also got Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, and Harley Cameron versus the Triangle of Madness, Thekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. Megan Bayne and FTR versus Willow Nightingale and Jet Speed. I'm glad that FTR has now moved on to Jet Speed. That'll be a lot of fun matches. Eddie Kingston versus the Beast Mordos. We've got Max Caster and Anthony Bowen, and don't call him the Acclaim, taking on Big Bill and Brian Keith. Anna Jay and Ty Conti in action as well. And this is taped at Daly's Place on Wednesday for Collision tonight. So looks like a good show. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, Kota Ibushi reportedly suffered an injury. Reportedly, people have camera shots of it happening. So
there was the footage that came out of him being stretchered out into an ambulance. So
yeah, he definitely was stretchered out. It said that Ibushi slipped from the top turnbuckle and crashed to the floor, with those in attendance noting his leg appeared to buckle upon landing. Ring officials and medical staff immediately rushed to his aid, and the match was called off via countout. So, yeek. Let's hope that Bushi's okay. I mean, unfortunately, you're losing another person. Sad, but yeah. So we'll send our best thoughts out to him. Hopefully, it's not. I mean, if it's a broken leg, those are always obviously come back, better than like if it's a blown knee or anything. So. Some other news, former WWE talent and original member of the Nexus. You might remember them, don't you? The Nexus. Yeah.
What could have been.
Yeah. Michael Tarver. He was the guy who used to wear the mask over like his nose it's the neck mask that went up. He revealed he recently suffered a stroke. Tarver shared the news in an emotional post on Instagram, accompanied by a video of having himself speak directly to fans, offering an update on his current conditions. His real name is Tyrone Evans. And he noted that he'd been focusing on recovery and expressed gratitude for the support he received from friends and fans since the health scare. He didn't go into details about the severity of the stroke, but appeared optimistic and thankful to be on the mend. Since leaving WWE, Tarver's worked sporadically across the U.S. indie scenes. He also has pursued music, motivational speaking, and fans have since flooded his social media with messages of encouragement as he continues to recover from the journey. So he's been a wrestler for 16 years. He was a wrestler before he came to NXT. So he definitely, I just remember he was one of the guys. I mean, I hate to say that there were a lot of great NXT guys or Nexus guys, but I liked him. They kept him around a while after they broke the Nexus up. So he was there for a while. Some other news, you might have, if you were watching SmackDown last night, you saw former WWE Women's United States Champion Zelina Vega. She made her blue brand return near the end of the taping of the show, playing a factor in the last man standing main event showdown between bitter rivals Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Vega, who has had an on-air chemistry with Priest in the past due to their shared Puerto Rican heritage, including appearing together at the 2025 Puerto Rican Day Parade. I remember seeing the video, and making a lucky fan's dream come true during WWE SummerSlam season, turned heel, aligning with her real-life husband, Aleister Black. She came out near the end of the match and stopped Priest as it appeared he was about to have the win in the bag, essentially providing an assist that led to Black ultimately beating Priest with a fireball, and Black essentially proving a fireball and then a black mass, sorry, before putting him through a table in their last man standing main event last night. And that's how the show ended. It was like a 7.5 minute match for a last man standing. Can you imagine that? Yeah. I was wondering when they were getting to the end of the show, it's like, like I said, I was kind of sleeping through it. So, but it was like, it's like, boy, I hope you have overrun here on USA, which they do not. Some other news. It appears the New Day will be staying together in WWE for a long haul. Xavier Woods recently inked a new multi-year contract with WWE, a deal that the superstar later confirmed publicly. Now there's an update. Long-term tag team partner and fellow New Day member Kofi Kingston also resigned with WWE. Sources within the company indicated that former WWE champion agreed to a new 5-year deal earlier this year. So you're going to get both the New Day. I don't know if they're going to be heels forever, but I enjoy their heel work with Grayson Waller as the new Big E, or what do they call him? The Big G, I think. Grayson Waller. He's the comedy part of it, but it works. I mean, he was there on the pre-show today because, I mean, isn't Australia his homeland? He's not on the show, but he was on the pre-show. He certainly got a lot of cheers. That's for sure. I don't know. I'm a fan. I like the New Day. I like them now better as heels than faces, as long as you're not, coming out a giant box of Bootios or anything. I saw
a giant box of Bootios.
Yeah, well, Bootios. I mean, did you ever eat the Bootios?
I didn't. I never opened my box of Bootios.
It looked like
it remains intact.
They looked like Fruit Loops. So
it looked like Lucky Charms.
Oh, Lucky Charms. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. They had the marshmallow pieces in it, right?
I think so. Let me check.
Yeah, hold on. Let's get the box of Bootios out. I think I've got a picture with this box of Bootios before. It's so funny that there's a time that the New Day were in Rochester a couple of years ago, and they went to there's a bar that has video games, and there they are. Oh yeah, it does have the marshmallows in it. Because I remember the marshmallows came out when the box tipped over. So Bootios, there we go. If you're watching the video, you see
the unicorn on the back.
There we go. It's a unicorn mask, right? You cut around and then tie a string in it. Yeah. So the last time the New Day, I think it was the last time they were in town,
and it teaches you how to do Big E's hip dance.
Oh yeah. Big E, I saw him a lot. There was Big E news that he apparently will never wrestle again. He's still being used, obviously, by WWE in the pre-show today, but he probably, that neck injury probably ended his career, unfortunately. But that kind of came up in news this past week as well. But yeah, I was just telling when you were looking for the box that there was the time they were in town here where they went to the bar that has all the video games, and they were playing video games after it was a house show too, I believe, that they had come for. And because Eric, our mutual friend, he's friends with Xavier, and it's like they all went out together after the show in Rochester. And it's like, oh, that's cool. What's that bar called? I'm trying to think now. It's like, it has all the video games in it. I don't know, whatever. There's one in Rochester. So, I mean, they're not paying for a sponsorship. So, but so they do come out. Oh, Seth Rollins is in like a zebra. He's coming out in like a zebra style robe. Like, it looked like his wife designed it. I swear to God. I'm sorry. We're watching the Crown Jewel as we're recording this. So, gonna jump to some other news. Cool for the New Day. I'm happy for them. NXT Women's Champion JC Jane appeared to suffer a leg injury during a tag team match at the non-televised NXT House Show in Columbus, Ohio. I think it was yesterday. The match saw Jane team with Fallon Henley against Sol Ruca and Zarya. Part way through the bout, Jane reportedly went down awkward and appeared to favor her leg. One account notes that the issue may have been a quadricep injury. She tagged out of the match immediately shortly after, and allowing the bout to reach its planned conclusion. In a concerned sign, the referee threw up the X hand signal, the universal sign in professional wrestling to indicate a legitimate injury. Yeah, it's a joke, the X symbol. We kind of joke about it, but it's because sometimes they'll play that against you to make you think someone's hurt and they're not. prompting immediate attention from ringside officials. Medical personnel then assisted Jane to the back following the match. And so they're on, NXT is doing it like they're in Columbus, Ohio last night, and tonight they're in Cleveland. So we'll see if she shows up on the Cleveland show, then maybe it was just a phony thing. If not, then we hope JC Jane, NXT Women's Champ, does get better, and hopefully she's not too badly hurt. Speaking of women's champions, Mercedes Moné is now officially 10 belts Moné. Women's wrestling star Mercedes Moné captured the Body Slam Women's Championship with a victory over Alyssa Inc. October 10th. That was yesterday. Event being held by the Denmark-based promotion. The finish saw the AEW Moné pick up the win after finishing Inc. off with her Moné Maker finisher. With the win and the addition of the Body Slam Women's Championship to her always growing collection of international pro wrestling titles, the CEO is now currently active champion for 10 different title belts. In fact, she could make it 11. Mercedes will be challenging TNA wrestling star and former TNA Knockout Tag Team Champion Jody Threat for the WPW Women's World Championship at the upcoming Winnipeg Pro Wrestling event scheduled for next Sunday, October 19th. But I'm sure she will come out this week on Dynamite with the 10 belts just to show them off.
I don't know. She's been kind of putting that off.
Yeah, I saw it. The last time I really remember them having multiple belts is she had them like draped all over the place. So it was over the ring ropes and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. She might be able to squeeze in a mention of it or something. So some other news. Bobby Horn, who's best known to the fans of WWE 1990s WWE WWF era as Sir Mo of the colorful tag team Men on a Mission, has been hospitalized and currently is in intensive care unit as he battles a severe blood infection and pneumonia. Horn's health struggles have been well documented in recent years. The former WWE star underwent a kidney transplant in 2018, which required him to take daily anti-rejection medication. In 2022, he also spent several weeks in the ICU while battling complications from COVID-19. Despite these challenges, Horn has remained active within the wrestling community, appearing at conventions, speaking engagements, and working to mentor younger talent through his Soul Patrol wrestling organization. As Sir Mo, Horn teamed with the late Nelson Mabel Frazier. You might remember him later as Viscera, and Oscar to form Men on a Mission during debuting in 1993. The team's unique blend of charisma and positivity made them fixtures for the early to mid-90s tag team division, highlighting by their brief WWE Tag Team Championship reign in 1994. So, best out to Bobby Horn, aka Sir Mo. Hopefully, he makes a recovery from what he's dealing with, pneumonia and a blood infection. Eek, it's not good. All right. So, Matt and Jeff Hardy won the NXT Tag title this past Tuesday. TNA officials have officially announced that this Sunday night's anticipated Sunday nights. I thought it was Saturday. It is tomorrow then. Pardon me. Sunday nights. And you know the best thing is if you get Columbus or if you get Indigenous People Day off on Monday, then you can like stay up late and watch this. You know, it's like and not have to worry about getting up early the next day. So, but the TNA Bound for Glory clash between the Hardys and Dudleys will now be winner takes all tables match for both TNA Tag Team Championships and NXT Tag Team Championships. I honestly don't think you're going to see Bubba Ray and Devon winning an NXT title.
No.
Even though Bubba Ray works for them within the LFG show and everything, I just can't see the rationale why they would take. I mean, but it's also I couldn't see the Hardys winning an NXT belt either. So that would be interesting. You know, I mean, you know, I think that I hate to say it, but it's almost like it's like a achievement award or something. You know, let's give it to the Hardys. They've never had this. It's an achievement award. I don't know. It kind of. I think
is having the NXT tag team titles really a prestigious mark on their records at this point?
Probably not, but it's now it adds another line into
like, it's there. Yeah, congratulations.
Their Wikipedia page has another line on it now, another championship. But that's what I'm saying is like, dude, they honor the Dudleys by letting them win the NXT tag team titles. I think WWE's got to have some say in what's going on in this match. I guess we'll find out. I
Well,
mean, I
this is
think
a no, this is officially Devon's retirement match.
it's got to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
So yeah, I don't
maybe
see that happening.
maybe Spike will come out and Spike will like be he'll Devon can't go, so we'll have Spike come. And now I love Spike. He worked so many times with 2CW wrestling that we used to have him on all the time. He was always a lot of fun, especially because we would talk about like the old ECW days with him. But I mean, I'm sure Spike's available if they want to, have him and Bubba Ray. Or there was a bunch of Dudleys that were part of the family there. There was, unfortunately, Big Dick Dudley's dead. So you definitely, but there's Dudley, there's all these Dudleys out there that they could have come out. It might be an honorary type match for the Dudleys and have like a parade of their family members come out during the match. You know what? This is making
Bubba develops a stutter again.
yeah, oh well, yeah, he lost it and then he developed it again when he came to WWE and then lost it again. It's interesting that this actually makes me more interested in watching it now, thinking, just talking it out, what possibly could happen. So, but that's going on Sunday. So sorry, I apologize if you guys think I meant Saturday night is all Collision now, and Sunday now is TNA's Bound for Glory. So it's going to be some good stuff. Some other news, the critically acclaimed Dark Side of the Ring documentary series is officially coming back for another round of behind-the-scenes wrestling stories. Vice TV has renewed the popular pro wrestling docuseries for a 7th season. Reports are also confirmed that the production on new episodes is already underway, with some filming having taken place several weeks ago in Louisville, Kentucky. Dark Side of the Ring originally premiered on Vice TV in April of 2019 and quickly developed a cult following for its deep dives into some of wrestling's most controversial and emotional stories. The show is known for its raw, unfiltered look at real-life scandals, tragedies, and untold tales from inside the business, often topics that are often glossed over by mainstream media. The show's success has helped Vice TV expand to the Dark Side franchise into other pop culture territories, launching spin-offs such as Dark Side of the 90s, Dark Side of the 2000s, Dark Side of Comedy, just to name a few. There's also Dark Side of Mixed Martial Arts. They have a whole bunch of shows on that as well. No premiere date for Dark Side of the Ring Season 7 has been announced as of yet, but with filming already underway, more details are expected to be surfaced in the coming months. So cool. I mean, I like those. They're fun to watch. I mean, I kind of always take them with a grain of salt because you're having wrestlers tell stories and they seem to sometimes exaggerate on them a little bit, just a little bit. I'm saying but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they're going to go. I mean, I can't think of any more, how many more dark sides there are of wrestling.
To say what's left.
Yeah. I mean, they can't really use WWE stuff without, because WWE would never agree to allow them to use footage. So they've talked about a lot of WWEs and they have like the character reenactments with a blurry camera lens, They might need actors. So
the very dark arena with one single light shining off in the distance.
Yeah, they have the spotlight on the wrestlers and it's their backs you see the whole time. So some other news, Lacey Lane, you might remember her as Kaden Carter in WWE, made her AEW debut on this week's episode of Dynamite, stepping in to challenge Mercedes Moné. After Moné issued an open challenge to one of Florida's top local talents, Lane answered the call and put up a strong fight against the reigning AEW TBS champion. Lane ultimately fell to the Moné maker, with Moné retaining her title. The victory extended Moné's TBS championship reign to 500 days, dating back to her win over Willow Nightingale at Double or Nothing 2024. Over the course of her reign, Moné has now successfully defended the title 22 times. Lacey Lane, something I learned about Lacey Lane? Lacey Lane went to Monroe Community College.
Really?
Yeah, and played basketball for him. Yeah, at least that's what her Wikipedia says. It might be a lie, but I tried to contact her, but she never got back to me. I was just like, hey, why don't you come on and talk about it? It'd be fun. And, after she was released, but I'm sure nobody wants to talk after they've been released. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I did remember seeing her on on this week, and it's like, she's got two wrestling names because she was Kaden Carter in WWE. So, but Lacey Lane is like almost like the NXT champion there. very similar name.
Ace Jen.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So I guess you have to change them when they're like that. But I think that's all the news I got. I mean, we did already run down the card for TNA Bound for Glory for tomorrow night. And right now we are in the middle of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes, like I said, or Seth Rollins coming out in a very zebra pattern styled clothes, which is pretty cool. But is there anything I missing, DC? We missed anything we missed this week that was that stood out to you?
I don't think so. We talked about it all.
Oh, I talked way too much. So, yeah. So, well, on that note, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and go back and finish and watch the last match here of Crown Jewel. I'm sure you maybe might have had more people in the chat room if they weren't watching it. And there's some people who still won't pay that money to get that ESPN. So, there's other ways to find it. I know people have found other ways, but we're going to get out of here. We will talk to you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.